We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. There's a whole lot going on all over social media, mainstream media, social media everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we are still talking about Charlie Kirk. I saw somebody that said, hey, when you come back from your break, you better talk about Charlie Kirk. And you know what? How about this? If I see you in the comments, you're going to get blocked. I am going to speak about Charlie. There's a whole lot to discuss there, of course. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Jimmy Kimmel. Wow. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel getting the show pulled. Amazing. Amazing. The responses from the left have been so good. It's like if I could just bottle up their feelings and sell it, I would be richer than Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates combined. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, speaking about Jimmy Kimmel, speaking about Charlie Kirk, what is free speech? What is the role of the FCC? Is this encroachment? Is it too much? And it's funny now all of a sudden now we're talking about free speech and what it means when the left are affected. But when the right get affected, Tucker Carlson gets fired from Fox News as a celebration. Jimmy Kimmel gets his show canned by ABC. We're getting into fascism. I don't understand what's going on. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Spirit Airlines, what's going on? Like, we're flying too close to Air Force One. You playing on your iPad. You're not paying attention. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So we're here on a Thursday. Shout out to you guys. And it's like 9, almost 9:30. I just got back. Listen. So I was out of town. I was in Texas. I'm in Texas. I did a podcast out there. Good podcast. Hopefully you guys see it pretty soon. We talk about a lot of things, a lot of community stuff, a lot of political stuff. It was a really good podcast. Shout out to, I don't want to say the podcast yet because I don't know if he put it out. But shout out to him. Really good interviewer. Met his wife and his daughter. Great people, everybody. And the people that were there, the guy that was there doing the recording, everybody was fantastic. So shout out to them. So I'm out there, just hanging out, doing a podcast, enjoying Texas, Dallas, Texas, where I was. And I just got back today. So this morning, I did that video about Jimmy. I was still there. So then I get on a plane to come back. It's about a 2.5 hour flight. It's not that bad. But I come back, and then, of course, I land in Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta. So you already know what time it is. 6 p.m. in Atlanta, going north. Man, forget about it. Hey. It's like you pretty much playing Gran Turismo out there. I mean, it was a mess. Gridlock. But I got back. It took probably about 2 hours to drive back. So I got home probably about 8:15. So then I had to set the show up and, get some tea right here because I don't want my voice to be messed up. So now we're here. We are back in the building. And thank you, Lords. Ramos says, glad you're back safely. Shout out to you. And of course, we're going to be right back here on Saturday for the regularly scheduled show. And I think after right now, we'll have the regular, consistent Wednesday, Saturday. So I won't have to miss too many more of these. I'll be on point and on time like I normally am. But we got a lot going on. Okay. OG Rex says, left or right is all wings of the same bird. Y'all got to listen. Y'all got to create a new phrase. Y'all all say the same thing. And it's probably a black person that said that because y'all like saying that. You know what? I was just thinking that, OG Rec. And I don't mean to pick on you, boss. Shout out to you for watching. Thank you for watching. But I was just thinking that because I was thinking in my mind how I have these conversations with people, not on the podcast. He was cool. It wasn't nothing like that. But in general, I have these conversations where people are telling me how bad conservatives are, how racist they are. And then when I start to point out what the left actually is and what they do, rather than conceding that maybe I'm correct, they'll say, oh, well, both sides are bad. It's two wings of the same bird. Left or right is no difference. But why didn't you lead with that? Why didn't you lead with that? And you led instead with how racist Charlie Kirk is, how racist President Trump is, how racist Stephen Miller is, how we're trying to go into fascism and stuff like that. But then when I point out the reality of the left, good kids are as smart as white kids. That's what Joe Biden said. When I start to point out that the Republicans ended slavery, when I start to really get into it, you know, I give them the history 101 basic stuff, like who was the first Republican president, who freed the slaves. When I get into that kind of stuff, oh man, you know, it's two wings of the same bird, man. And then even worse, the whole Israel comment. I hate that so much. You know what? You know what I said about that? Whenever things are a little shaky with the economy, they blame the Jews. Every single time. That's what they do. That's their whole thing. And it's like, bro, if you're broke, just say that. And you know the funniest part about that is that Jews ain't nothing but an ethnic group of white Europeans. That's the truth. That's the truth. Don't nobody try to tell me nothing different. Oh, they're not white. Then what are they? They're white. Let's stop playing games. They came from Kiev, Ukraine, and Poland and Hungary. Please stop. That's like me saying, okay, you got Africans that came from Central African Republic, but somehow they're not black. All right, whatever you say, whatever you say, it's fine. But anyway, to me, it's the silliest argument you can make when you try to blame the Jews. It's the dumbest, silliest argument you can make, and it's an old argument, and no one ever does anything about it. The funny mustache dude, look at him. Okay. And it wasn't even that he did something about it. He was just incompetent and could not feed the prisoners of war. Okay. And then he wound up being a dope fiend and icing himself. What kind of leader is that to look up to? Why would you want to support him? Why would you want to glorify him? And to the ignorant white folks that want to support that guy, you want to be a dope fiend? You want to be LGBT and a J on the low yourself and then pop yourself when things don't go right? Is that what you want to be? Because I know about me. That's not what I want to be. I want to be successful and live a good life. I don't want to hit myself in the head and be a dope fiend on methamphetamines. Did you guys see that video of him? What was that, at the Olympics or something? He going like this. A dope fiend. That's not who I aspire to be. But anyway, Candace Owens. Now, Candace, there's nothing that anyone can do or say to Candace or about Candace that will stop her. If you're upset with what Candace Owens is saying about the Jays and what Charlie, if you're upset with that, the person to blame is whoever killed Charlie, because now y'all done set her off. I'm gonna just kind of sit back and watch it. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna sit back and watch it. Same thing happening with all the people getting fired from their job. Hey man, listen, you can't keep doing this to people. You know what's happening right now is that we're fighting back as conservatives. We keep getting beat in the head and shot at and all kind of stuff, attacked, and now we're fighting back. But we're fighting back in a way that makes sense. We're using our words. We're using our freedom of speech. You see, that's how it's supposed to be done. You say something, I say something, and we communicate that way. That's how we fight. What you shouldn't do is shoot somebody because they said something. And the funniest part about this is that they think it's okay to go ahead and shoot and kill Charlie Kirk because of what he said. But then when they get fired from burger flipping or their late night talk show, Jimmy Kimmel, all of a sudden it's fascism. All of a sudden it's the worst thing in the world. Nah, keep that same energy. If it's all right, if it's okay, if you're making fun of people being killed because of their unpopular opinion, then whenever you get fired from Whataburger, making $5 an hour wherever you get, you got to take that because it could be worse. It could be what you celebrated, but see, we're not violent people. We're going to call, hey man, y'all know me. Hey, I'm this meme right here. Yeah. In-N-Out Burger, your employee, I don't know his name. He's kind of like a medium brown, funny hair. He's like 350 pounds. Septum ring. Yeah, that guy over there on Main Street. Yeah. He was saying some crazy things about Charlie Kirk. Take a look at the cameras and see what you see. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go in there and try to be attacking you or acting foul. I'm going to use my freedom of speech. And if your employer says that his conduct is unbecoming of a Rally's cheeseburger employee, then, oh, well, you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what burger you're going to flip next. That's kind of what it is. I think that's okay. That's perfectly fine. And I take the same thing because, listen, when I became conservative, I knew there would be a consequence. Because at the time, I'm a graphic designer. I lost a lot of clients. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of family. I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't crying about that. I expected that. That's their right to do that. I can't make them be friends with me. I can't make them give me money. I can make them do that because they have the right to say what they want and associate with who they want. That's okay. They got to take the same level of accountability on the left. And if they don't, then we just kind of playing games. So, yeah. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best anywhere on these interwebs. Yeah, special edition, James, because I was not able to do it Wednesday. I was out traveling. I just got back like about an hour ago. I flew. My flight was 2 p.m. their time, so about 3 p.m. our time on the East. About a 2.5 hour flight. Then I had to get something to eat because I hadn't eaten anything all day. I got some of them tacos from the airport. The tacos were rocking. Hey, I had a fried chicken taco. I mean, hey, it was good. It was like they put a chicken tendy with some rice and a little bit of, you know what I mean? I liked it. It was good. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. We got quite a few things on deck. We're talking about Jimmy Kimmel getting canned or his show not being on the air for a while. Listen, the reactions to Jimmy Kimmel have been hilarious. They have been just, hey, it has been funny to see because the same people celebrate Tucker Carlson when he got fired from Fox. They celebrate Charlie Kirk when he got shot, Trump when he got shot. They celebrate whenever something bad happens to us. But when they face adversity, when they face the same thing that they praise others for doing to us, all of a sudden they want to melt down. It's crazy. It's a mess. All right. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Oh, yeah, Rex Rocker. Hey, no nap time, Rex Rocker, because I did that video this morning, too. So I was up probably about 8 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m. doing the video and, you know, had to get back packed up. Had to go to the airport. It's like a half hour to go to the airport from where I was at. Go to TSA, all that kind of stuff. Find my gate. Yeah, do all that. It's whatever. But I had to come back and do the show right now tonight. All right, I probably won't do calls because it's already kind of late. I'm going to just do my regular show. But maybe I'll do a few calls. We'll see. But for sure, I will definitely be doing my show again on Saturday. Okay. OG Rex says, Anthony, please, my guy, as a conservative, you should look at the APAC list homie Ted Cruz took $700,000 from. Okay, so what? Tell me why that matters. Tell me why it matters. Why does it matter that you say, and I'm not sure it's accurate or not, I'm going to just take your word for it, OG Rec. Tell me why it matters. Why does it matter that Ted Cruz got $700,000 from APAC? How is that going to affect me? How is that going to affect anyone in Texas? How's it going to affect you? Like, give me the answer. I don't like when somebody says, oh, this person is linked with that person. Okay, that's great. Thank you for telling me that. I take your word for it. Now, how will that impact me? If I tell you something, I'm going to explain it. I say that it's okay for Kimmel to get canned from, or at least taken off there temporarily. I say it's okay, and I explain to you why. I explain to you the role of the FCC. That's the funniest part. People are just kind of ignorant about the FCC, talking about, oh, This is censorship. Do you understand what the FCC does? If you are coming to my page talking about the FCC should not be censoring people, well, welcome to the past 100 years of the FCC's existence, almost. What, 90 years? It's not 100 years, ABL 19. Very long time. That's their purpose, is to regulate television. Not all TV stations have an FCC license. You give an FCC license to those that have broadcast capabilities, meaning you could just put up an antenna on the back of your TV. Back in the day, it was little bunny ears. And now they got them little square pieces of plastic, little carbon fiber. Put that on the back of your TV. And now they got the smart TVs. They got the antenna already inside. But if you could get the TV for free, you can't just be showing whatever you want. There's already censorship because you have the ability to have children to watch it. It's the same thing we talk about when we say when you have people that go to the school board meetings and they read the books that are in the library, the kids' libraries. You don't want obscene literature in the library for children to read. That's not censorship. It's just called having common sense, okay? Which is why you cannot have children to access this material in any kind of way. A child cannot go on Amazon.com and just buy anything. There's certain restrictions and censorship that exist in society. And to be totally honest, I hope the FCC goes harder because they gotten soft over the years. When I was a young man, there was no homosexuality on TV, no you couldn't see nobody's butt. Like now, you open your phone on Instagram, it's just butts. TV, same thing, just full back nudity. And even like having male nudity in the movie was something that was, it's a lot of things that are just allowed to transpire in 2025 on television and movies that would never happen even in the 90s or early 2000s. So the FCC has gotten soft, they've gotten lax, and they should tighten up. They should most certainly tighten up. And if you want to see some of the more obscene things, well, go get a cable subscription, go get Netflix or something like that. But you shouldn't be subject to such ridiculous stuff like Kimmel did on broadcast television. The FCC exists for a reason. Now, if we don't want the FCC anymore, just say that. Let's have a vote on it. But they exist for a reason. They got to serve their purpose. And if you have an FCC license, you must serve your purpose, which is in the public interest. I don't think praising people who assassinate political opponents is in the public interest. I'm just saying. These things are written already. It's not me just talking about it. These things are the responsibility of the FCC, and it's written already. It's written. Hey, Monique, butts everywhere. Listen, butts everywhere. It's like, what is this? And I remember when that first happened. I'm watching TV back in my TV watching days many, many years ago. I'm like, what am I looking at? What's up with this? The things that you see on TV nowadays would never happen back in the day. They would never. Okay. Hey, I remember when the rating system came out, when they started putting the parental advisory stickers on CDs back in the day. We went from that to anything goes. And it's creating problems in society. And I'm not quite sure if it is reversible or fixable. I hope that it is. And that's funny. Gino says Married with Children, the sitcom, it wouldn't fly today. Married with Children would not fly today because of the subject matter, but it wouldn't fit in today because of the subject matter. The subject matter was tame compared to what they show today, but it is offensive to those who consume the extreme content. Does that make any sense? Okay, pardon me. Married with Children, there was one video I saw where Al Bundy, the protagonist, I guess you would say, the dad, he was talking to a bunch of fat women about how fat they were. 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to fall through the floor. That would be offensive nowadays. Everybody would get all in their feelings. It'd be think pieces. But However, pun intended, no pun intended, you can have two men kissing on regular network TV and it's fine. To me, that's offensive. But to them, it's fine. You see, the extreme content they cool with. The offensive, tame content from back in the day, they're not cool with. Anyway, we got quite a few things going on. We got quite a few videos I want to get into, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining on a Thursday. Again, I'll be back on Saturday at per usual for the live show. And I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content. But again, shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing tonight, if you like what you're hearing in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. Also, this is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Also, please go to the sponsor. Please go to the sponsor. You guys are the best sponsor, of course, but also go to my regular sponsor, patriotpost.us. Your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We get the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll see articles for each full-length video that I produce normally on there. And once you click on the links, you'll be able to see sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Republican, Democrat, left, right, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And of course, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not. If you're in the YouTube comment section talking about Bitcoin, Forex, I don't know nothing about that. Please don't get scammed by somebody wearing a wife beater in a 100-degree hovel with no air conditioning in Lagos, Nigeria, or somebody eating a plate full of borscht in some old beat-down block in Ukraine somewhere. We don't have time to get scammed in 2025. We got to go onward and upward. So again, shout out to you guys for being here yet again. Now, where do I want to begin? There is so much I want to say. So much I want to say. Hold on. Let's start with this guy right here. Did you see this guy? Did you see this guy talking about how romantic the Charlie Kirk assassin is? Did you see him? Okay, now, taking one look at him, I kind of already know what's going on, but I don't want to be too judgmental, okay? I don't want to be too judgmental, but I feel like he has taken a shower with a man before. You understand what I'm saying? And he probably does it quite a bit. But anyway, this guy over on ABC News says that the Charlie Kirk assassin was a very romantic figure. Well, that's what I heard from what he said. Let's watch.
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who is transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So,
bro, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You're talking about a murderer and really a school shooter too, because he did it at a college campus with all the students around, thousands of students around. You could have killed one of them too. So why are we glamorizing the school shooter, a murderer, an assassin in any kind of way, form, or fashion? He apologized talking about I was just trying to show the duality. It's like, man, nah, we're not trying to hear your ridiculous excuses, bro. We're just not trying to hear it. There is no excuse. Now, I understand you might have that type of, that 12-year-old girl type of mentality to you as a grown man, maybe, I guess. Maybe you're into the Menendez brothers and stuff like that. But come on, this is real life, man. And one thing we got to do as adults, understand that real life and fantasy ain't the same thing. It's just not. So yeah, ABC, man, they had some problems before Jimmy Kimmel. That right there should have been the violation of the FC. The FCC should have stepped in right there. You can watch that on broadcast TV for free. Little kids and everything can see that. That's like the 6 p.m. news. That should be, at best, a Netflix type of situation, not to be on television. His roommate. Yeah, well, he looked a little more than his roommate. It was his boyfriend. Okay, like that ain't the same thing. You could have a male roommate and not be gay, but if you got a boyfriend and you're a man, you're gay. And that's not even really about the LGBT community. It's about the whole transgender issue, because that has been a key element in a lot of these mass shootings, a lot of these incidents like this. It's always been that kind of element. Oh, and did you see what they found about the old man? Remember, they arrested the old man at first at the actual rally. Remember that? And at first it was like, well, maybe it's him, but maybe it's not. I think the cop said, we don't know if it's him. Remember that? So that guy got caught with something on his phone. But are you surprised, though? Are you really surprised that he got caught with something on his phone? And by this time, you know what I mean. You see what it says right here. George Zinn, the man who falsely told police he shot Charlie Kirk moments after the attack, has now been charged with possessing child you-know-what. Of course, because let's just think for a moment here. Why would a man this age, roof gone, George Jefferson, okay, looking like George Washington, why would a man of this age be at a Charlie Kirk event on the college campus anyway? You're looking like Herbert the pervert. That's what you're looking like. So, of course, you got that on your phone. Of course. It's always y'all. The shooter is, you know what? The shooter and his boyfriend will be him in the future. That's where they're going to go. That's where the pipeline leads to. You understand? That's kind of where it goes. Of course you got that on your phone. Nobody's surprised. It's always y'all. Whenever I see an incident like this, I already think it's them. You got to just point your finger at who it needs to be pointed to. Okay? I mean, come on. Yes, that's right, Oseo. Herbert the Perfect from Family Guy. That's him right there, 100%. If there was a live action movie, he played a part. Okay? He played a part. So you already know what it is. Now, this is going to be a CNN panel. I'm almost scared to watch it. These panels, man. I mean, I just want to say something, man. Where are the professional looking people at? Look at these. Okay, a cowboy hat on TV, I'm not really a fan. I'm sorry. Maybe you're a cattle herder or something like this. Maybe you're from Texas. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you're a California transplant to Austin, Texas. Now you want to wear cowboy hats. I don't know. And my man right here with this little, I don't like the hairstyles that I'm seeing. The woman has short hair. He has the funny kind of bring back my man. My man right here, probably Asian guy. He got it right. Suit fits right. He doesn't have on no crazy unhemmed pants. The hair is cut properly. Very professional. That's what I like to see on television. Bring back professionally dressed people on television. But let's hear from them and see what they got to say. Are conservatives now embracing cancel culture? Is that what we're doing? Okay, let's check it out.
Rob, to your mind, when you see people justifying doing this now, what do you make of their arguments? Does it feel somehow right in this context, but not right in the past context that the left talked about it?
So I guess they're talking about people getting fired from their job, and you know how I be. Yeah, McDonald's, yeah, the dude that put the fries in the bag had on a sticker that said, delete Charlie Kirk. So I want you to go investigate that. Look at the cameras. You're going to see the sticker. And I want him gone. When I come back to get my McChicken with double fries and a Sprite, I don't want to see his fat face no more. Okay? Well, let's continue.
Well, Audie, I agree with what Vice President J.D. Vance said there. I think there is a distinction between what you've seen in the past versus what you're seeing today. People who are celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I would put in a different category than others in the past who've been canceled for expressing their political views, which are far different from what you're seeing play out on social media platforms. The employers are ultimately going to make the decision if they want people to work for their companies that express those particular views. And Audie,
does that argument sound familiar? It's up to the companies to fire the people. Like, it sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar.
From what we heard in the left in the 2010s, which is like, it's not cancel culture, it's consequent culture.
No, back in the 2010 era, what was happening was people were digging up old stuff about people, stuff from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, old tweets, and trying to litigate it at that point. Okay, it's now 2017. Let's dig up a post from 2005 and judge you on that and try to get you fired based on that. That's not what's happening here. People are doing things in real time, and there's a real time reaction. We're not trying to go retroactively make things that might have just been nothing into something. Okay, that's the difference.
If you say something that in the public square is not valid or supported.
But I think the distinction is that I had colleagues, you had social media companies suspending and removing these individuals, taking away their ability to even communicate. I mean, that's what conservatives were concerned about when it came to the social media censorship. I think that I'm making a distinction here between what people are saying about Charlie Kirk than what people have done in the past who were canceled.
All right, there we go. So yeah, it's much different. They want to try to make it be the same thing. Nah, we're giving a real reaction to what's happening right now. We're not trying to go back in the past and dig up some old stuff because we don't like you. That's not what's happening. You do something and then we react. Also, that's not a violation of freedom of speech. People think that freedom of speech means whatever they think it means. They want that to mean whatever they want. But freedom of speech is a two-way street. You can say what you want, and I can say what I want. If you say something I don't like, I have the right to say I don't like it. And if enough of us come together and say we don't like that, then, hey, you might lose your job. Might be some changes. That's how it's supposed to work. Okay? Now, let's keep on going here. All right, we have, this is going to be a memorial in South Korea for Charlie. This was worldwide, nationwide, but worldwide.
Today is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. I am in Incheon, South Korea at Douglas MacArthur or Freedom Park in Incheon, South Korea. Locals here have set up a memorial honoring the life of Charlie Kirk. Not too long ago, Charlie was actually here in South Korea for a speaking event. He visited this park around the same exact time that I'm here currently. I thought that on my way back to the airport that I would stop by here and honor him personally as well.
Beautiful memorial out there in Incheon, South Korea. Now, one thing about America, don't let anyone tell you that we're not the best. Do not let anyone tell you that we're not the best. We are the best. The whole world is influenced by us. Whenever something like that happens here, the whole world notices. Everybody notices what happens. It's not just an incident in Utah, an incident for America. It's a global incident. Just like, unfortunately, remember when Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars? That was worldwide. Everybody saw that. The whole world saw that, which is why I was so infuriated at Will Smith for doing it. Bro, if you really want to fight Chris Rock, don't do it right there on the Oscars. Y'all go out back or something. Don't do it right there. I mean, I still have not forgiven him for that. I will never forgive him for that. I ain't gonna say never, but right now I don't want to forgive. That was really crazy. But anyway, when things happen here, they happen globally, and not just bad things. When good things happen as well, because he was out there for a speaking engagement. So the things that he was saying not only impacted Americans, but it impacted the Koreans. It impacted the whole world, and his words will continue to impact the whole world after all said and done. Let me show you some numbers about his YouTube channel. Okay, because one thing about it, a lot of people didn't know who that was. They didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. It was like, who is that? They had no idea who Charlie Kirk was. So then when everything happened, it was a mad dash to go find out. So here's some numbers, okay? This was a screenshot from yesterday during the day, but you can see what's going on, okay? So Thursday, September the 4th, his channel had right around 3.8 million subscribers, okay? And he would get 10,000 or so subs every 2 to 3 days, as you can see right there. And then Wednesdays when he gets shot, 110,000 subs that day. Then the next day, 240, 190, 220. So he went from 3.8 or so million subs the day before he got shot and killed to now over 5 million in about a week's time. And it ain't gonna stop. So to the guy that did that, you think maybe you were trying to dim his light. You didn't dim his light. You just sent him back to a different place. But his light and his message will never die. All you did was just really blow it up, unfortunately, even more than what it was. It's unfortunate that he's gone, but the message is now blown up more than what it was because he's gone. Okay, it kind of works like that sometimes. Oh yeah, Turning Point USA, everybody's going up. Turning Point USA, they're getting more members. They're getting more to their socials, everybody. So did you guys see that Erica Kirk is going to be the CEO of Turning Point USA? How you guys feel about Erica Kirk? I don't know too much about Erica. Like, to be totally honest, I don't really watch many political people except for like the clips that I respond to, that I react to. But I don't really sit and watch like a whole podcast of a political person because, as I said before, I don't want to watch their good content and then have some of their ideas get into my head. And then as I'm talking right here live, I begin to sound like them. I want you to get an original take from me. So I don't really watch a lot of that stuff because it's just going to be, I'm going to hear something like, man, that was a good take. And then I'm going to say it just by happenstance. And that's not what I want to get. I want you guys to get an original take. Now, this is going to be a Huntington Beach, California vigil for Charlie Kirk. All right, let's go ahead and throw this on the screen. Shout out Huntington Beach. All right, there we go. Huntington Beach, California. That is Charlie Kirk memorial service out there. So shout out to them in California. Hopefully you guys can expand beyond that particular part of what's it, like Orange County. I want the conservative movement to move all over the whole state. That might be a little bit too much to ask, because California is such a beautiful place. It attracts everyone. The worst of the worst and the best of the best. People who are so good and so smart, it can kind of overlap and become the worst. You know, that's kind of how it works. It's like the extremes. You attract extremists and you're going to get extremism. Okay, now this is going to be students. Hey, hold on, before I even show this, Charlie was so big among the youth. Shout out to that guy I met when I was on the way to Dallas, and he said that his son was a big fan of Charlie. And when Charlie was killed, his son called him, crying tears. Charlie was really, really, really big among the youth. Huge. It didn't matter black, white. He was big among the youth. So now when you have teachers coming to the class and talking about Charlie crazy, the kids are like, yo, what are you doing? So some of the kids stood up to their teacher, and here is what happened. Let's check it out. And before I continue, it says students call out a teacher during a school board meeting for supporting the violence against Charlie Kirk. This is going to be Barrington, Rhode Island. All right, shout out to Rhode Island, and RIP to the headphone users in advance. Get some of that sound down. There we go.
I'm Jakari. I'm Caleb. And I'm Brandon. And as the people of the youth, we've decided to come up and give our perspective on the subject, considering it is our teacher and one of the people that will guide our futures. No matter what anyone says to me, I will never stand for violence, especially of a man who was publicly murdered in front of his wife, one of his children, thousands of students, and other bystanders. Charlie was not a racist, he did not hurt anyone sexually, and he did not kill anyone. Therefore, this was an unjustified cause of death that should never be celebrated. So if you ask me, Charlie's children do not deserve to grow up without their father. Charlie's wife did not deserve to lose her husband. Charlie did not deserve to lose his life because of a different opinion. But this teacher deserves to lose his job.
As civilians and people of our great country, we hold ourselves to a higher standard than to support, or worse yet, rejoice in violence. Someone who advocated for an arrested murderer and assassinator of one of the greatest debaters and free speakers of our time should have no place in the classroom, more so around young children.
As a student of Barrington High, I did not feel comfortable or safe with one of our teachers supporting violence. We believe this world needs God because something as cruel as this should never be celebrated. God bless Charlie Kirk and rest in peace, Mr. Kirk.
Oh, man, my heart is so warm. Do you hear me? Listen. My heart is so warm. That right there, I love it. There's hope for the future. Because sometimes when you see social media, you see some of the weirdest things, some of the strangest things from these kids. But that right there, it shows me the kids got their mind. They got their mind together. They understand what's going on. They're smart. They're observant. They understand what's right, what's wrong, how things should go in society. And it's not even about race. You got, what about 2 white kids, 1 black kid? It doesn't matter. They were all on the same page. I love that. These kids are more in tune with what is right and what makes sense than their fully grown adult and quote unquote educated teacher. So they give me hope for their future. Shout out to them kids out there in Rhode Island supporting Charlie Kirk and not supporting their teacher who is against Charlie. Love it. Fantastic. Hey, the kids, a lot of the youth will be just fine. They'll be fine. Some of them, I don't know. You know, now you got kids. Some of your kids might be a little, it's like, oh man, that boy right there, I don't know. He ain't, I'm trying to get him to act right, but he's just not. But my other son, he's going to be a winner. That's kind of how I feel about some of these kids. But shout out to you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, now this take right here from an adult, very educated, highly accomplished, is the kind of thing that I don't like. The whataboutism, both sides. Ain't no both sides. Ain't no both sides. When's the last time a conservative person assassinated a liberal guy or tried to? Okay. I asked that question on Twitter. Somebody said Cal Rittenhouse. I'd be like, man, please. Hey, don't answer the question honestly. When's the last time a conservative person killed a liberal person on some political stuff? Like, tell me that. Anyway, Mike Pence is who I'm talking about. Let's watch.
Bible.
All right, here we go. Throw it on the screen.
Bible says you mourn with those who mourn and grieve with those who grieve. And I think it's important that in the wake of this national tragedy that we take time simply to grieve the loss of life that occurred here. But I also believe we need to resist the temptation to put America on trial. I mean, absent any additional evidence, one man was responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That man is now in custody, and now comes justice. And while with this rising tide of political violence that we've seen on both sides of the aisle, I understand the deep concern. I don't think we ever want to lose sight of the fact of personal responsibility and the need for every American to focus on holding those accountable who would perpetrate this violence in the name of politics or for any other reason.
Bro, there ain't no both sides to this. There's one side that is crazy, violent, unhinged, and they have shown it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Ain't no both sides here. Okay, that's just not the reality. And how you going to say it's just one guy involved when he lived with his trans former boyfriend and they were proven to be communicating about what's going on? And he was on a Discord server and there was some stuff going on right there. How you going to say it was just him? Like, see, that right there is an example of an adult, highly educated, well-accomplished, that is just not on the same page with your average American and what we know to be true, what we know to be factual, and what we know to be right. See, a lot of the youth are more knowledgeable when it comes to that than a guy like Mike Pence. And you know what? Shout out to Trump for making that upgrade. Wasn't that an upgrade to get JD Vance in there? I mean, and JD, not perfect. He's going to be developing, but he's so young, got his wife, and he's super smart, and he got good friends like Vivek. A big upgrade from Mike Pence is JD Vance. Now, speaking about Trump, hold on. Matter of fact, I gotta show another one too. Yeah, I gotta show another one here to make it make sense. Okay, because there's some things happening out there in Minnesota. Shout out to Minnesota. Hey, Minnesotans, is it Minnesota or is Somalia? I can't tell the difference. What's the like? Is it Minnesota or Somalia? What's the actual difference? I mean, and it's not a racism thing. It is the simple fact that when you import a whole different culture to a place, your place becomes that. And that's just the bottom line. That is the bottom line. So where do we actually live at in Minnesota? What's happening? Okay, so this is what I wanted to do. Ilhan Omar had a few choice words in church. And to the whites of Minnesota, y'all got to do something about it, because I see the church is mostly, you know, the OG Minnesota population, a lot of these Germanics and Nordics from Europe in there listening to Ilhan Omar curse in church. You can't let that happen, but let's go ahead and watch this. Then we're going to see Trump's response.
I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
Thank you.
Let's, one more time. I'm sorry for the cussing, but it might have been a little bit hard to hear in the beginning. RIP in advance to the headphone users.
I do believe those of you who are are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
Thank you.
So you gonna say that in church? Is that what we do? Since when did we curse in church? You see what I'm talking about? This is societal degradation. Now, I for sure guarantee you it wouldn't be no obscenities or improprieties in the mosque. Now, with it, Ilhan Omar. Okay? Take off the Erykah Badu head wrap, do-rag, a shiesty, whatever you got on, bareface shiesty, take that off, and, oh, no, you don't want to do that because you wouldn't be an adherent to your faith. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you wouldn't come into a church and curse like that and then denigrate somebody who was assassinated because of an opinion. But again, hey, Minnesota, it's your state. Why do y'all allow this kind of thing to go on? Okay. And then look at the audience. What do we see? See what I'm saying? Y'all gotta fix what's happening. But maybe you don't want to fix what's happening. Maybe you like what's happening. Maybe you guys are on the same page. Hey man, listen, it's your state. If you want to turn Minnesota into Mogadishu, go ahead. It's fine. You know, I don't want to go to no cold place, no way. I just feel bad for regular normies out there that got to put up with it. Anyway, so here is President Trump's response. All right, let's go ahead and watch here.
I think she should be impeached. I think she's terrible. Is she originally from Somalia? Yes, sir. So how are they doing this? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council? Do they have anything? Do they have police? I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country. No, I think if she got censured, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing. And they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side, so they knew it was just, but they impeached me twice. She should be impeached, and it should happen fast. I think
there we go. So yeah, she should be impeached. But does the citizenry of Minnesota want to let her go? Would they just replace her with somebody that's the same as her? Like, what's going on? So yeah, shout out President Trump. Okay. Now let's get into, hold on, where I want to go. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, the mayor. Remember the mayor? I'm the captain now. Hold on. Let me see if I can find him right quick. Or the candidate to become the mayor in Minneapolis. All right, so I'm going to show a picture so you know what I'm talking about. I mean, you already know how he looks. I don't really got to show him, but, you know, I'm going to show him anyway. Because doing this, you already know what I'm saying. So this guy, remember this guy? Getting caught up in some kind of scam, some kind of scandal. Hey, listen, this man getting caught up in the scandal is so surprising. I am so shocked. It is beyond belief. But we got a story. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let me come back here and then put it on the screen. RIP in advance to the headphone users, but let's go ahead and roll it.
New questions about politics, ethics, and a candidate for Minneapolis mayor. A KARE 11 investigation into Minnesota's troubled housing stabilization program, already exposed for widespread fraud, now reveals an unexpected connection to candidate and state senator Omar Fatah.
We did discover something raising what a legal expert labels serious ethical concerns. Senator Omar Fatah's wife was a listed owner of a housing stabilization company, even as the senator and current Minneapolis mayoral candidate himself was pushing legislation to fast-track client approvals for the taxpayer-funded program.
Senator Fate, Senate File 2741.
A bill that will address a critical delay in access to housing stabilization services, also known as HSS.
It's March 24th, 2025, and Senator Omar Fate is the sole author of a bill he says will speed up access for people to be approved for HSS. What was not known at the time was that Senator Fate had an undisclosed tie to the HSS industry.
Does this raise any red flags?
It raises lots of red flags.
Political science professor David Schultz has taught ethics for 25 years. He says what raises red flags is that Senator Fate's wife, Keltoum Mohammed, was a founder and owner of Community Development Services, LLC, an HSS company.
I am so surprised. Look, can't you see my face? I am beyond just bewildered. This is crazy, right?
This is a situation where I think almost anybody schooled in, government ethics 101 would know that you can't introduce legislation that benefits yourself.
Just 4 days after Carol Levin's investigation exposed allegations of widespread fraud in the HSS program, this record, listing the senator's wife as a current owner of Community Development Services, LLC, was filed with DHS.
So, I mean, that right there is what we're talking about. Like, this straight up corruption. And the same thing Ilhan Omar does. What's happening, in my opinion, is that they come over here to this country with the intention of looting us. I mean, we've seen it, again, Ilhan Omar, same thing. She got married to, first of all, she was married to her real husband in a religious marriage with no actual, no paperwork, no documentation, just straight religious marriage. Then she gets married to her brother for immigration purposes. And then she divorces the brother and gets married to the white man, the dangerous white man, Tim Monnett, the consultant. And 70% of her campaign money gets paid to that consultant. And of course, since they're married, it's not illegal for him to transfer the funds to her because it's household money, household property. Scammers just taking from the American people and not giving much of anything back in return. So that's what's happening out there in Minnesota. Shout out to them. Anyway, I digress. Oh, we got something else. ABL, you're racist. What about the whites? I got you. Don't even worry about it. I got one more. Then we'll keep going. All right, let's watch this right here.
Nearly $300,000. That's the highest paid superintendent in Minnesota that we could find, on top of a hefty bonus and a monthly car allowance. I'm investigative reporter Ryan Raish. I reviewed 30 superintendent contracts at the biggest 30 schools in the state. I found eye-popping perks, hefty car allowances, and several creative ways that school districts call a bonus.
So when people say, oh, we got to fund the schools more, we got to give money to the school. Okay, if we give the schools more money, where is the money going? I said it about Baltimore back in the day. Remember that? Where the story that's in my head all the time, it's like right here in the front of my head. Augusta Fell Savage. You had the boy that had a 1.3 GPA and ranked 60 out of 120 in his class. He was ranked dead middle with a 0.13 GPA. He was ranked 60 out of 120 in his class. Now, Baltimore, the excuse is, oh, we need more money. Why? You already get $15,000 per pupil. You get some of the most money per pupil out of any school in the nation. Matter of fact, was it 15 bands? I don't know what it was. It was a lot. It was like the third most amount. Boston Public Schools, money per pupil. How much was that? Okay, it is $22,000 actually. $22,424 per student. $22,400 per pupil is what they get in Baltimore. Yet the kids can't read. But guess what though? The superintendent iced out. Hey, the super is iced out. He got cufflinks and chains and whips but the kids can't read. So what's the point of giving them more money? Why? Because the principal, he wanted a new car. The super wants a new house. He wants to get this big, nice, hefty base salary with benefits. Scamming.
The compensation question is important. It's a fair question. But what's most important is, can we afford to not have high quality leaders leading our school districts? And the answer to that, everybody would agree, is no.
But the question is, how high quality are the leaders? I want to see the results. Does how much they're paying these so-called high qualified people translate into actual results in the school system? If they do, okay. But if they don't, or it's negligible, then what's the point?
These paydays and perks may surprise you. The full story is online now.
So there we go. All right, shout out to him. That's out there in Minnesota, but that's everywhere. That's all over the place. Again, Baltimore, $22,400 per pupil, yet the kids can't read. All righty, so where we gonna go next? Oh, this was weird. Nancy Mace. So you got Don Lemon out here doing street interviews, and by the way, Don Lemon, I think I'm done with Don Lemon. I think I'm done with. I'll prefer that he goes away and doesn't come back.
We can go,
but I gotta show this. Why do they keep trotting this guy out there like he's Michael Fanone? Remember the J6 guy, the J6 cop who's now super leftist. Remember when Jonathan Capehart on MS-13 DNC, soon to be known as MSNOW, if they survive at all, passed to get to that point. He was on there promoting his book, and Jonathan Capehart, the black dude, started crying. Remember that? So now here he is with no suit on, wearing a Proud Boys type shirt. Why are you wearing that? What's going on with this dude? To me, I see two things when I see Michael. What's his name? Michael Fanone. Let me make sure I'm saying the right name. Michael Fanone. Yeah. I see two things when I see him. I see gay off the rip, and I also see FBI. Snitch, poser, informant. That's what I see. Anyway, here he is screaming at Nancy Mace.
We can go toe to toe.
You guys want to kill me.
I don't.
Whoa! You guys
listen.
Want to kill me.
You say
the left.
You say
yes,
you, but I'm not. I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah.
I'm not a member of the left. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016. I supported Donald Trump.
You're yelling like you're screaming at me.
But he's
okay.
He's upset.
Okay.
He's upset. Yeah. But he's not a violent person.
You're asking me to tone down rhetoric as you
Okay,
yell at me.
all right.
I mean, come on.
We can spend all day long, but let's talk about this now.
But I'm happy to come down after and talk. But I got to go. I have 3 votes. I got to go do.
Can I ask you something? And I don't mean it. Let me ask you something. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you considering?
We can go toe to toe.
So what's going on with this guy? Do y'all know why he keeps being trotted out? Like, what is the? I wish he would just go away. And it was funny how he tried to defend him. Don Lemon, you got the audacity to talk about black conservatives. You, Mr. Married to a White Man, had to defend this other white man, the same as your husband. Oh, he's upset. It's okay. He's upset, Nancy. Don't. Bro, really? You got to be ashamed of yourself, man. Let that LGBT in the closet white dude handle his own business. And tell him to put on a regular shirt, not this Proud Boy shirt he got on. DC is a weird place. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to live there. Because I don't want to see guys like that just floating around in my space. Okay? Very aggressive. Look, listen, Nish, very aggressive, the same as it's ma'am, the same as all of these LGBT. You see, it's a pattern. Now we're starting to see it. Aren't we? There's a common denominator between a lot of these white guys that want to just go butt wild crazy. Gay, LGBT, confused, transgender. Always. So when Don Lemon says the white man is the most dangerous, maybe he meant the white man that he dates or he's married to because he gay. I'm just... But regular white guys, not so much. Anyway. Now... I got to show them again because they're talking about the NFL. Now, I've not watched a lot of games. I'm not super into NFL, NBA. I did watch the Canelo and was that Bud Crop. I did watch that. That was a fantastic fight. Fantastic fight. Loved it. But I've not watched a lot of football. But here he is talking about some of the NFL teams doing tributes for Charlie. One thing that people don't understand, maybe, we know, we get it, but others may not get it, is that Charlie was like the equivalent to JFK or somebody of that high stature. So, of course, there's going to be tributes and everything else from NFL and whatnot.
And wondering why someone like Kirk is being given the Presidential Medal of Freedom being compared to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Right. Or the fact that NFL teams were doing tributes to him. And shout out to my home team, New York Giants, for saying, no, sorry, we're not doing that. Or my home county in New Jersey, Bergen County, saying, no, we're not lowering our flags to half staff for him. You know, like, this is nuts. And I think the majority of the American people, a lot of people don't even know who the hell Charlie Kirk is. Let's just be honest. If you're not in the political world, and, you know, you don't, most people are like, who's this guy? That's number one. So they're,
you know what? I'm going to just say right here, she's right about that, because some are not going to know who Charlie was, which is why after the assassination, his YouTube and Turning Point, all of that just blew up, because everybody was wondering, who's this guy? Why did they keep saying he's racist? What's going on? I wanted to see for myself. I'm curious. And people liked what they saw.
I said that and I got excoriated. They're like, more people knew who who Charlie Kirk was than Don Lemon. I'm like,
well, that's true as well. People know Charlie Kirk way more than they know Don Lemon, even if Charlie Kirk was not known by everybody.
That's not my argument. That
well,
could very
and plus,
well be true.
I don't know about that.
That's not the point.
Yeah, it's not the point. I'm just saying that, like, a lot of folks only maybe have a casual understanding of who he is. Right. He's just like the young conservative guy, the college campus guy.
Right. All right, there we go. So yeah, Don, come on, bro. Like, you're very low on the totem pole when it comes to like celebrities. That's like me trying to say I'm no more than Charlie. It's like, come on, man. You gotta be real with yourself, you know, be real with yourself. Now, here is some poll numbers among the so-called progressives, liberals, leftists. And matter of fact, before I play it, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. As far as the percentage, what do you think they said as far as, is it okay to assassinate Elon Musk or President Trump? What is the percentage of them that said it's okay? And I ain't gonna say it no more. I'm gonna just play it. What is the percentage of those who say it's okay to assassinate Elon Musk, President Trump, or whoever? All right, let's throw it on the screen right here.
According to those Rutgers University researchers, in a poll of more than 1,000 Americans, 50% who self-identify as progressive said killing Elon Musk can be somewhat justified. 56% said the same for assassinating President Trump. 14% said it could be completely justified. According to those
So 50 to 56% said, maybe some kind of way. You can kind of just assassinate him, it'd be all right. And then 14% said it's totally fine. Go ahead and do it. Pull the trigger. I mean, see, that right there, that points to the culture of violence on the left. So when they say both sides, show them this. Show them this. And if you do the same poll with conservatives, you're not going to have anywhere near these numbers. It won't be anywhere near these numbers. So it's not a both sides issue. It is a leftist issue. And I'm going to just add this on there. It's an LGBT issue, because some of them, I'm not sure how many of them, but some of them are mentally ill. If you see a 6'3" white dude wearing a Miss Doubtfire, you know what? I saw that one time at Old Country Buffet back in the day. I saw that one time back then, like 20 years ago. This dude came to the front, white dude, with his grandma dress. I'm talking about, it looked like he might have fashioned a a curtain from his mama's house into a dress. I don't know, man. It was like, I saw that back then. I'm like, okay, looking at him, I know something ain't right. Off rip, I know something ain't right. As a man, you don't just put on your grandma's dress and go to a buffet if everything's okay upstairs. Something ain't all the way working in your brain. Your wheels ain't turning, your gears ain't gearing in your brain if you do something like that. So I think it behooves us to treat it as such rather than saying, oh, no, it's fine. It's no problem. Actually, it's not fine. And speaking about not being fine, here we go again. They are dragging a Donald Trump effigy through the streets. Upside down American flag, all that kind of stuff. Hey, ain't that what Lucas be having on his hat? Amazing Lucas with the upside down flag. Hey, Amazing Lucas, do you want to be linked to these white, crazy, liberal weirdos? Is that what you want for yourself? I'm just asking, bro. Man to man.
Yeah. Bro, you come here, Sam.
And look, one thing about it, you see these signs. You see, I was a designer for a long time. I know a professionally made sign when I see one. Because first of all, you have these little handles, these little poles, I guess you would say, for the sign. And you have nice stock for the paper. That's probably like a 1319. That's a nice stock of paper. That's expensive. The paper is expensive, and then you got it double-sided, and it's designed, and you have a tag right here on the side. You see that right there? That's a tag. So you got a tag on the side. You got nice printed stuff. You got a camera crew. There's money behind this. So, yes, they're crazy. Yes, they look weird, but they're also being paid. Okay, that's the bottom line. All right, there is money behind the madness. Very simple. And that is the case all over the whole US of A when you see things like that. Okay, and we got some people talking about Charlie. He spread hate, all kind of stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and check it out.
I also feel bad that when they Google their dad, they will see all of the hatred that he spread, all of the misinformation, all of the sexist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, racist, Islamophobic, Christian nationalist bullshit that he spewed. So yeah, I feel bad for those kids. I feel really bad for them.
It's the same old playbook. All the obics, obes, and is. You're homophobic, transphobic, airphobic, waterphobic, foodphobic, fatphobic. All the obics, obes, and is. That's all they got because there's no real argument. My thing is this, okay. If Charlie was so bad, if he had such horrendous and deplorable ideas, how about you debunk it? Give me something that he said that you disagree with and talk about it for real. See, that was the whole point of him making videos and going to these campuses is for him to express an idea and then for you to give your feedback on it and have a conversation. And if you don't want to do that, you're just ignorant. You're willfully ignorant and you'll never learn anything if you got that state of mind going on. So yeah, shout out to her for being willfully ignorant. If our nation is full of people like that, we're not going to be able to go forward. How can you go forward as a nation with a bunch of ignorant people who don't care to learn, who don't care to know anything other than what they think they know from watching TikTok videos? How are you going to be able to grow like that? But shout out to you guys because y'all don't behave that way. That's why you're the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And I didn't even mention the eyes. The eyes were as big as dinner plates. I'm talking about you got binoculars built-in binoculars. You can see from Los Angeles to Shanghai, China with no extra nothing. You don't need to have no GPS. You don't need to have no map, no satellite. You could just you know. But I ain't even mentioned that. I did see it, but I ain't even mentioned it. Y'all saw it. Anyway, this guy says that Biden should still be the president of the country. Okay. Now, I guess he's not very happy with he's not happy with what's going on in the country. He thinks that things could be going a lot better. So he wants Old Man River to stumble and bumble back into the White House. Check it out.
Joe Biden should still be the president of the country right fucking now. That was really clear to anyone who took the time to watch Joe Biden do an interview yesterday with the ladies on The View. Joe Biden was as crisp, as sharp, and as alert as ever. It was heartbreaking to me, as an American who actually cares about this country because I'm not MAGA, to see this man up here. A great man, a man who did so much good things in his 4 years, to see him up there as our country is literally up in flames. This man right now should be our president. The Democrat Party should not have quit on him. The American people should not have quit on him. It wasn't really that hard of a choice to choose the old guy who had a bad debate over the criminal, fascist, insurrectionist dictator. That's really a pretty simple choice. To be quite honest, that bad...
Hold on. Okay. I thought he was done.
Choice. Be quite honest, that bad debate, Joe Biden shouldn't have even debated Donald Trump, because the last time those two tried to debate 4 years earlier, Donald Trump was incapable of even behaving like a human being. Donald Trump in his own Republican primaries would not even debate anyone. Donald Trump didn't deserve Joe Biden's presence in a debate. Joe Biden should have said, I am not going out there and debating a 34-time convicted felon. Not going to happen. In the end of the day, the party quit on him. The people quit on him, and America is the one who's going to have to suffer because we didn't stick with the old guy over the fascist. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow.
Okay, well, I'm not throwing you a follow, so let's move past that. But there is so much there. First of all, the View interview, the most recent one I see is from May. Okay, let's just show some of this, because he said that the interview went well. Let's see how well the interview actually went.
That all the projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
Okay, so, bro, if you think that is good, I don't know what to tell you. But beyond that, a bad debate, really? A bad debate? He was awful on stage. It wasn't about the debate itself being bad. It was about him being bad. It was about him looking bad. The people of this country had not seen him for a while. So when he was out there on the stage, it was like, okay, now I'm seeing him. Now I'm seeing what we just saw right here. Okay, now we're seeing how he actually is. And it's concerning. It's concerning. Furthermore, the guy said that Trump did not debate anybody in the Republican primary. Neither did Joe Biden. And as a matter of fact, neither did Kamala Harris, who became the nominee. So, no, I don't think Joe Biden would be a good president. And really, for real, you know what? I don't like how the Democrats treated Joe Biden. Elder abuse, plain and simple. This guy is 1,000 years old. 1,000 years old, and he looks and sounds every bit of those 1,000 years. Let that man rest. Let him just be in his garage with his classified documents in the Corvette, chilling on the beach, mouth open, chilling. Why must he be out there trying to act like he still has any marbles left up top when he doesn't? Leave him alone. So yeah, shout out to you guys who want. Hey, I know we don't want that guy to become president, but some people do. Some people do. They want him to be the president. Now, this guy says we have the right to overthrow our government. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say he's wrong, but I want you guys to hear what he's got to say. And then I got a few things that I want to say. Let's check it out.
Just some proof of that, we have the right to overthrow the government. It literally says in the Constitution that if the government becomes destructive, we the people have the right to alter it or abolish it altogether. And honestly, at this point, fuck the U.S. presidential election. It's the U.S. government as a whole. It's them sending money to fund a war with our tax-paying dollars that we never approved of. The cost of living, inflation, the cost of education, the cost of healthcare. Like, at this point, everything is just fucked. So I think we should just restart from the beginning. Like, just wipe the slate clean, because this shit now isn't the way that it's supposed to be, I feel. Like, we need to reset the whole system, seriously. And we have the right to do so. Yeah.
Okay, so you're expressing a level of frustration with the government, with the way things are going, the economy, all this, that, and the third. But what do you suggest to actually do? Because your mind's in the right place. Okay, you're reading some books. Okay, you got it. We can't overthrow the government, but who's going to be in charge? Is it going to be you and people like you? Me, people like me? Who's going to be in charge? What do you think will work? If you're talking about a lot of these career politicians, your corrupt people, your Nancy Pelosi, people like that, I'm right there with you, boss. But if your idea is to bring in a bunch of these leftists to run things, you're going to run the country clean, smooth into the ground. It'd be so quick, it'd make your head spin. And what you get as a result of that, you're not going to like it all. You be trying to escape somewhere to find some level of freedom. Okay, because if you want to enact gun control and stuff like that, first of all, I hope, bro, because I don't want to judge you now, I hope that you are in favor of guns, because if you're not going to overthrow nothing. Because if you don't have any guns, if you're not armed, and you're not ready to go out there and really, embody what it says in the Constitution, you're not going to be able to do anything at all. They will do whatever they want to you, and you're going to accept it. So, yeah, your heart's in the right place, bro. But who's going to be the people who run the country? Because it still must be run. You can't just have no government. If we have no government, then other nations with government, with military, with weaponry will just consume us. They'll consume us. We will be China part 2, Japan part 2, or whatever power, not Japan no more, it'd be China. But basically, if we decide there's no government and we just don't run it, we'll become China. Hey, ni hao ma, start practicing right now. Get on Duolingo. How do I say, can I get a job in Chinese? Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Phoenix says, please, ABL, tell them to stop wearing that sweater and to buy a 9mm Beretta. Hey, well, that's some great advice from you right there. Fantastic advice. Yeah, that's right, extra ill. Heart's in the right place, but that sweater, the sweater wasn't doing it for me. Now, speaking about fashion, Jamal Bryant. Mainstream black church, useless, pointless. I mean, people like this, I really hate, because you're using faith as a weapon. You're misusing faith. You're doing things that are destructive that have no purpose. See, if you're going to be destructive, you need to build on what you destroyed. You have to destroy and then rebuild. Don't just destroy for no reason. You're destroying people's confidence. You're destroying the truth. And you're doing the Target boycott. Okay, what's the point of the Target boycott? All you did with the Target boycott, Jamal Bryant, is encourage black people to not go to Target and to not buy the black products on the shelves. And then you encourage them to shame black people who had products on the shelves. If your purpose as a pastor in the community is to uplift black people, then why would you support something that just hurt us? It makes no sense. People like this need to just go away because they do so much harm and they do no good. So what's their actual purpose beyond that? Getting money. You see his fashion up there with a hoodie. And again, back in my day, we had the old man preacher. You come in there with a Men's Warehouse. Hey, if he had a Men's Warehouse suit, he was just kind of peacocking at that point. Normally, it'd be a Sears, a Montgomery Ward, off the rack, Burlington Coat Factory, barely hemmed. His wife might have hemmed it before he got to church. That's my kind of preacher right there. Guys wearing hoodies and ice and jewelry on the pulpit, I find disgusting. But let's watch what he says here.
Come on, Public Enemy. I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming, we coming, we coming. We coming, we coming. God said, when you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of the State Department. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of Congress and run them out of Senate. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them off of your job and run them off of your classroom. I need you to take your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, we got to shout like we got faith. Come on, Public.
Oh, man, there's so much. First of all, the hooping, I don't know. I think I'm beyond the hooping era. That's hooping. That's what he's doing. And then what are you really saying politically? What are you talking about? You're just saying things that sounds like good to those who hate conservatives, but there's zero substance. Just like the earlier clip. You say you don't like this, that, and the third, but you're not talking about anything in particular and giving me a real argument. Let's have a real discussion about some things rather than just stating things that sound good to those who hate conservatives. And this is what preaching has become all over the country. Not everywhere. And I'm not really sure how much of preaching has become this, but there's too much of it. And this right here is a mega church in Atlanta. Lithonia, but same thing. Okay. That is Jamal Bryant. Now I got one more from him. I got asked about this when I was out. So I might do a video. I did get asked about this when I was out. I might do a video on it.
God, help me in here. I'm concerned about all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King?
First of all, let's take a look at the fashion. Look at his jewelry. Look at this right here on his wrist. Look at this jean jacket with suns on it. You see what I'm saying? The way he's dressed, I find disgusting. I hate that. I hate preachers that do stuff like this. I don't like the new age preachers with their high fashion, $1,000 shoes, suits, $20,000. I do not like it at all. I'm going to stand on that until the day I die.
The only thing that Charlie Chris and Martin Luther King got.
Charlie Kirk, you idiot, not Charlie Chris, the politician, but go ahead.
In common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common.
By the way, New Birth is where Eddie Long was a preacher, and Eddie Long molested boys and died of AIDS. But anyway,
they were in the desert.
Not AIDS, it was cancer.
And God had to get something out of them. Here's what's crazy, y'all ain't gonna believe it, is that the children of Israel left by foot. I need y'all to hear this. The children of Israel left by foot with seniors and with children. But when Pharaoh found out that they were gone, I need y'all to watch this. Pharaoh said, bring me the chariots.
All right, so, hey, you know what? If you have a good church and you got a good word about Charlie and about things that are happening, you're blessed. You are blessed, because too many of us don't have good church homes, and too many of us belong to church homes that are like that are just completely ridiculous with a pimping pastor. Pimping pastors, pulpit pimps, I hate. And I don't use that word lightly, but I think it's disgusting when you use faith to talk about stuff like that, to behave like that using faith. If you want to behave like that without the faith, knock yourself out. Have a podcast and you want to be a leftist, go ahead. But you're in the house of the Lord. You're in the church doing that. That's the part that is crazy to me. Love your church. Shout out to you, Kim. Hey, I love to hear that. I really do. Okay, now we got a video. Speaking about church, I think this young lady, this white lady, has the right idea. Let's watch this.
I might be getting canceled for this, but I'm kind of pissed off. Anyway, I'm a senior in college and I'm in international public relations, and I was told to read chapter 8 this week of International Public Relations, Negotiating Culture, Identity, and Power. I'm reading, I just opened it up to chapter 8 about 5 minutes ago. I've been sitting here in awe. Chapter 8 is titled Contested Identities Shifting Publics in a Globalized World. I'm gonna read you what I just read and where I stopped. I think it's the second sentence, maybe the third. Identity may be one of the most contentious words of the new millennium. An internet search produces the following modifiers for identity: corporate, sexual, digital, public, racial, national, brand, and even Christian. A US-based white supremacist group. I'm pissed. So I would just like to say that as a Christian, if you're reading this and you're not a Christian and you're in college, I am not a white supremacist. So can we cancel these authors? Are we gonna?
So if you are a white person and you're a Christian, some think that you are a white supremacist. See, now we got attacks on faith from inside the church and outside. So shout out to everybody. Again, if you got a strong church, you got a strong faith, God bless you. That's a great thing. That's a great thing to have, because there's an assault right now on it. Charlie Kirk, one thing about Charlie that many people didn't know is that he was really big in the faith. He was really big in the Christian space, not just the conservative political space, but the Christian space. Some say he might have been bigger in the Christian space than the political space. Now, I'm not sure if that's true or false, but I'm hearing that was a thing. That was definitely an issue. Okay. And do I have another one? Yeah, I got another one right here about church.
We went to church today.
All right, let's watch some of this. It's kind of long, so I won't play the entire thing, but I'll play some of it here.
We went to church today. It was the first time in 20 years for me and Devin. It was the first time for our children. After the events of the last week, Devin and I had a lot of talking that was happening between us about the type of life that we want for ourselves and how we want our boys to be. You know, we talk about Charlie Kirk. We talk about a man of God who was not afraid to stand in his convictions in anything. And we are raising 3 boys that will one day be men. And we want those boys to be as strong in their convictions as Charlie Kirk was. And we realized we had been doing a great disservice by not taking them to church and introducing them to faith up until this point. It is because of Charlie Kirk that we went to church today.
I love it. I love it. You see, even in tragedy, there's a way to find a silver lining. You have been in church for 20 years, your kids have not gone to church, and you realize, you know what? We need that in our lives. We need to have church be part of our existence. And I hope and pray they got them a good church, okay? Good people in the church, because it's very important. But shout out to them for being inspired to go do that. That is amazing. And I think there's going to be a lot of people just like that. It's going to be a revival of sorts. People are saying, you know what? We're missing that element from our lives. And then a lot of the videos people are going to discover from Charlie are going to reinforce that, because it's a lot of faith-based content. Faith-based content getting a revival in the country where there's a need for faith, where there's not much faith, is very, very important. Very, very important. So shout out to her. Alrighty. Now, we got people changing their minds as far as politics because of what happened to Charlie. People that did not vote Republican. Now, you know what? I think I'm going to go another direction. People that don't vote, you know what? I think when I do vote, I'm going to vote differently than what I was told I should vote.
I never believed in voting in the United States elections, but I think I'm going to vote the next one. I never voted. And I've always just been interested in politics. I mean, I'm pure independent, like pure. Okay. The reason why I never voted was because I've always been scared that I would vote for the demise of the country. And the first time I could have voted for Obama. So thank God I did not do that. And yeah. Next election, I'm voting. Yep. And this is purely based off the future of the country for my children. I don't care about whatever is going on like today, right now, 2025. Like, I care about 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, when my children are adults. That's why I'm going to vote next election. Yep. Made up my mind.
There we go. So the inspiration, it ain't going to stop. What we're seeing right now is the beginning. The inspiration is not going to stop. It's going to just continue. It's going to compound and build and build. And that's going to be a good thing. People that are not really inspired to go vote, not inspired to go to church, they're not inspired to do much of anything. Now they're like, you know what? Let's do something. Let's try to make our lives better and make the world better. And you know what? A lot of people who don't do church, people who don't do things they're saying they want to do now, they have been replaced by a lot of the transgender. That's why so much of that in the church is because people who go there are going to be those that shouldn't really be in a place like that. Meaning they don't have good intentions. Some say that, you know what? The church should be for everybody. Come as you are, all this, that, and the third. But it shouldn't be a place that is being co-opted and taken over by evil forces. You see, if you are in a bad space going to church and you want some help, you want to be delivered from whatever you're going through, that's one thing. But if you go there with bad intentions and bad faith and you want to just be evil and take it over, that's something totally different, which is what's happening. I showed you earlier, Ilhan Omar in church cursing. What's going on with that? You got transformers in the church, transformers as pastors, female bishops and priests and stuff like this. Like, what are we doing? Those things should not be permitted in the church, because at a certain point, the church should not be the same as the world. And if it is, what's the point? What is the point? Now, let's get Jimmy Kimmel, okay? Because I'm going to get at Jimmy Kimmel. I got, like, no time. I probably won't do calls tonight because I started late. And it's past my bedtime a little bit. So, and I got a lot more videos I've not shown that I'm going to show on a Saturday show. But I want to get to Jimmy, because people talking about, oh, this is a threat to democracy. It's code red. It's fascism. Where was all that energy at when Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox? Where was that energy at when they shot Donald Trump, when they shot Charlie Kirk, when they shot Steve Scalise? Where was that energy at? But now somebody's whack, old, outdated talk show get canceled. Oh, it's fascism. The sky is falling. Give me a break. Give me the biggest break in the world. Anyway, here is, I almost called him Donald Trump. Yo, Gavin, I don't know what you've been doing, bro, but the pink tint to your skin is not hitting on 2 cents, man. You You look like a Christmas ham with a suit on and a gray toupee. You look like a Christmas ham with a suit on and a gray toupee. You look crazy. I'd rather you look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, pale as a pale horse, than the pink lotus tint. Anyway, let's watch some of this.
This is code red. We all need to wake up to what's going on. And maybe, in final words, maybe I'm saying that from the prism of being a governor of a state where I watched the military asserting themselves to try to take over for domestic policing, where I watched this private army that is the most funded private army of its type anywhere in the world, with ICE out there in masks, intimidating people and their free expression of speech. Maybe it's because I'm sitting here where the UC Regents are meeting tomorrow to discuss a $1.9 billion extortion fine because institutions of higher learning and independent thinking are under assault by Donald Trump. That happens to be UCLA in my state. Maybe it's through the prism of that, but I assure you, in every state in America, I assure you this is a preview of things to come. This is.
But look, California needs to get under control. California is a beautiful place, but it sucks because of you, Gavin Newsom. You and your pink skin. Pink, though, come on, bro. Like, not pink. At least do the orange. At least do Donald Trump's orange. This right here, I mean, you looking like, I don't know, man. You looking like, hey, this is you right here, right now. Look, it's the same. Like, put that, it's the same. And if you don't, this right here is this is an ear clip. I put these on my glasses when I do my regular videos to keep them up so they don't start going like that. Fun fact, anyway. So yeah, shout out to Gavin. And Gavin is your front runner for 2028 for the Democratic Party. Yes, he is. And if not him, then who? I tell you what, though, I want you to fix your skin. Anyway, okay. Let's stop. Now, before I get into what Kimmel said here, let's go back to 2023 when Tucker got fired from Fox. When he was fired, guess who was the main guy celebrating him? Celebrating the firing, celebrating the reason for him getting fired. None other than Jimmy Kimmel.
Fox.
Let's watch some of this.
Fox News.
Again, this is 2023.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means.
And the crowd goes wild. Okay, yo, crowd, keep that same energy. That's all I ask. That's all that I ask. Keep that same energy for your man when he gets fired. For the same reasons, basically.
Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's fiery beehole from whence he came? We don't know.
So, Jimmy, where are you going to go now? Your show has been yanked off the air by the big boss, Bob Iger, Disney. So where are you going to do? What you going to do now, Jimmy? I don't want to see a podcast with you on it. A podcast with you for what? Why? What are you going to do now? You see, it's funny how that works. You kind of like did your own eulogy right there. But anyway, again, that's 2023 when Tucker was on Fox and he got fired for things that he said. The crowd loved it. He loved it. They're having a good old time laughing and joking. So I don't want to hear him say fascism or anything like that now that he's the one on the other side of it. This, I'm not sure the exact date. It might have been 23 as well. But sometime previously, remember Roseanne got her show taken from her? Remember that? He was a big fan of that as well. She said some things that were offensive to some people. He was offended. The crowd was offended. So they supported her show being taken from her. Okay, let's watch this.
On the subject of terrible things posted online, the biggest story of the day today was Roseanne. Roseanne, you're not going to believe this, but she tweeted something outrageous. I know, yeah, right. The president did it too. It's crazy. Anyway, ABC decided to cancel their highest-rated show, Roseanne, following a tweet in which Roseanne compared an African-American woman, a former advisor to President Obama, to an ape, which did not sit well with ABC management or anyone with a brain, really. So they announced that this first season of the show is also its last.
Okay, so you said she said something that was offensive, and then she got canned as a result. Okay, cool. Great. How about you, Jimmy? How about you? Isn't that what you did? Don't say a word about this being anything other than what it was Roseanne and Tucker and everyone else you supported on air. We got you recorded, bro. We have you on camera. We have you recorded. Don't say anything else other than what you said right here. Oh, ABL is different. How is it different? How is it different? Listen, you have TV network groups that own stations who pulled you because probably they were getting inundated with phone calls because people didn't like what you said. The same people are getting fired from their job at McDonald's and Whataburger and Shake Shack and stuff like that is the same reason why you're getting fired right now from your job. Same thing. No difference. Don't say it's the FCC. Don't say it's Donald Trump because you always want to blame Trump. Hey, listen, Jimmy, if you got out of bed and you had a hangnail, you would say, you know what? Donald Trump, he's the reason why I got a hangnail. No, you got funny feet. That's why you got a hangnail. You got fired because of what you said about Charlie Kirk. Simple. All right. Now, this is going to be AOC back in the day talking about something. Let's watch this.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News.
Start from the top.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. What I will say, though, is while I'm very glad that the person that was arguably responsible for some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just to my office, but to plenty of people across the country. I also kind of feel like I'm like waiting for the cutscene at the end of a Marvel movie after all the credits have rolled. And then you see like the villain's like hand reemerge out to grip over like the end of a building or something. But
man, trying to hear her talk is like nails meet chalkboard. Nails meeting the chalkboard. That right there, I want it in the clip right now, but I'm gonna let her finish. But bro, hey, that Instagram boyfriend she got, I see why he just kind of be like, all right. I see why, because what other kind of guy want to hear that all day anyway?
But deplatforming works, and it is important. And there you go. Good things can happen.
Okay, so deplatforming is good. Getting fired because what you say is good. So you say that, Kimmel says that, AOC, you bet not say anything to the contrary right now. You bet not say anything to the contrary now that Kimmel is facing what you said is okay. What you said is good. Okay? Listen, my theme for these previous videos is to say, keep that same energy. Y'all know me, listen, I'm a consistent person. If I say one thing for one person or one group, I'm going to have that same standard for the next person in the next group. I don't change up. I don't switch it up. I'm always the same. I want them to do the same thing that I do. But of course, they don't. They don't. Hey, listen, if she was a bartender, artist, known as a watchdog, if she was a bartender, I'm not listening to nothing. All I'm looking at is right at the bar level. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, I don't hear no words. I'm hearing his music, and I'm seeing what's right there at the bar level. The drinks, nothing else, right? The drinks, but that's it. Anyway. Remember the government, talking about the government pressuring censorship. Remember Hunter Biden laptop? Remember HCQ and what was the other thing they had? The Z-Pack. Remember all of that? If you were to post anything about those things, you were getting dealt with severely because of federal government pressure. Remember that? I had an article on my website that went viral. It was crazy. That article kind of killed my Facebook page back then because Facebook was being pressured by the government to censor all of that. People were getting their Twitters deleted, Facebook deleted, all because they were posting articles about how to treat COVID-19. Remember? Let's watch this from Zuck back in the day.
They pushed us super hard to take down things.
Yes, ivermectin. Thank you. Back up. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pack, any kind of homeopathic remedies, home remedies for COVID-19, they're deleting. Hunter Biden laptop, they're deleting. At the direction of the federal government, at the behest of the federal government.
They pushed us super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they?
Great question, Joe Rogan. Who is they? Who are we talking about here? Who is they?
Telling you to take down things that
it was
talk about vaccine side effects.
It was people in the Biden administration. I think these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like they pushed us.
So the Biden administration would call Facebook, screaming at them, cursing at them to remove posts about vaccine efficacy. We know that vaccines have side effects. That's not even the thing that needs to be said. I mean, if you get the vaccine, it'll probably tell you right there on the vaccine that it has side effects. Just like medication. When you get the pill bottle, it says right there what side effects are known to be. That's not a thing that needs to be censored, but that's what they did. But they say that we are the fascists. We are the party of censorship. We are the ones that want to suppress information. Actually, we want to expand information, which is why Charlie Kirk existed, to expand information, to have conversations, to teach, to educate. The Democrats don't want to teach. They don't want to educate. They want to indoctrinate. They want to train. Same as always, party of slavery. It was the same thing going on back then. You want to have people in certain class strata. That's what you want. So when you are democratizing information, that becomes a threat to that system. You see? All right. Now, what else I got about that? Let me see. Okay. Oh, Rob Schneider talking about Jimmy Kimmel being suspended.
So what you have here. So what you have here is you have capitalist pressure. Capitalist pressure is really important because what happens is you have to make money or you have to do something of value so that you can get something in return. Now, the interesting thing is it's false advertising because honestly, I mean, look, Jimmy Kimmel can be funny, and I don't mean to take anything away from that. But the fact of the matter, can you remember a political joke that went viral, what was something really funny of his? There was no attempt in humor at all in what he said. And as a matter of fact, it was a lie. Now, as you pointed to, Will, since the 1960s, you have to get a license to broadcast. This isn't Netflix. This isn't cable. This is broadcast TV. And when you have broadcast TV, you have to, the airwaves are owned by the public. And to get that license, you have to be in the interest, like you said, of the public. And so that's why when there's a news van parked in the white zone, they don't get a ticket because they are there to present news to inform the public in the public interest. So what happens is 25% originally was supposed to be the news to inform it, just to get that license. So when you absolutely lie to the public, then you are no longer in the public interest, like Jimmy Kimmel did the other night. Mislead and lie, and actually was something dangerous. So with the FCC chairman, he didn't say that he was going to pull the license. He was going to give them a warning and ask for an apology, if what I understood on the Benny Johnson show. And so that's not the government doing it. And when 246 different stations around the country say we're no longer airing this, it's because they heard from their consumers. They heard from their customers. And they said, that's it. We're not doing it. And so Nexstar, who's a great guy over there, Sean Compton, said, that's it. He's the CEO and said, when we have complaints like this and none of the channels, 246, because I'm sorry, it's not just LA and New York. There are people in between who have a real sense of decency and who realize that what you had here was you had someone who wanted to have conversations and debate, and for somebody who was gunned down for that. So while I don't want to ever celebrate somebody losing their TV show, I think the outrage over somebody losing their TV show should be dwarfed by the outrage over somebody losing their life over a decent, God-fearing, wonderful, lovely person trying to have conversations.
Exactly. Right on, Rob Schneider. That was perfectly said. And that's the key. If you are a broadcast TV network, that's much different than being on cable. Because if, like I said from the beginning, if you're on broadcast, you could just have an antenna and access that for free. And you are granted an FCC license. Not everybody has that. Only the broadcast, like, okay, your HBO, Fox, CNN, they do not have FCC licenses because they're part of the cable subscription. But if you're broadcast, you can see it for free. That's different. You're held to a different standard. So if you don't want to be up under that standard, do a podcast, Jimmy Kimmel, and see how well you do without having ABC, Disney, and FCC license behind you. Without all those resources and power behind you, see how you do in the regular world, the working world with everybody else. See how you do. Try to be part of an upstart cable network and see how you do. There you can say whatever you want. You don't have to be worried about the public interest. You could just be a left-wing nut job. Go ahead, be Keith Olbermann. See how that works. Keith Olbermann at one point was king of the hill back in the ESPN days. But now what is he? That's you, Jimmy Kimmel, in the future. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, Keith Olbermann is your future. Keith Olbermann was the man on ESPN. He was good. He was great on ESPN. After ESPN, fell off. TDS got into his brain. No more Disney, ABC, Bob Iger. That was it. That was all she wrote. And it is what it is. All right. Okay, now, this is an example of what they show on cable TV. Okay? This is CNN.
Gus is Pete Dominick. He's the former warm-up comedian for Stephen Colbert on The Colbert Report. He's also the host of the Stand Up with Pete Dominick podcast. Pete, thanks for being with us. Were Kimmel's comments enough, do you think, to get him suspended? Or do you think this was more of a business decision about the profitability of late night shows?
Neither. And we need to stop asking those questions with all due respect, Boris. If we covered the campaign, if you read Project 2025, if you know Brendan Carr, if you understand what the Trump administration has been wanting to do, this is part of their game plan. They're using the assassination of Charlie Kirk to destroy careers of teachers, educators, board members, anybody who speaks out and says anything that they don't like. This has nothing to do with the comments that Jimmy made the other night. He's made far meaner comments to Donald Trump every night before that. This has nothing to do with anything but state control of media. This is an attack on the career and integrity of every comedian, writer, and performer. This is government censorship. This is the Trump administration coming after people who come out against them. That is what this is.
Respectfully, Pete, my job is to present you with the arguments that are being made and ask you to reflect on them. So I stand by the question that I asked you.
Respectfully, Boris, I think you're an awesome journalist. I watch you all the time. I think you do a great job. I have no hesitation to push back and tell you that I think you are giving, in this case, the narrative that is coming from Brendan Carr and not looking at the narrative that they said they were going to do in the campaign. We all know what they want to do with the FCC. They are using the FCC to control the speech of people they don't like, to promote the speech of people they do like. I know you know this.
Bro, if that was the goal, then they would have already done it, because all the late night talk shows have been, we hate Trump for the past 10 years. For the past 10 years is all they've been. So why was there never any action until right now? Just use your brain for a second. 10 years, 2015, when he came down the escalator with Melania, it's been consistently, we hate Trump throughout the entire time. So now all of a sudden, we're using the FCC against you? No. The FCC probably got in it. You know what? I want a little bit of FCC transparency here. I want them to tell how many calls they got after Kimmel said what he said and others said what they said. Because at a certain point, it's like, yo, you could be upset, you could be mad or whatever, but if the money's rolling in and everything's good, there's no reason to cancel the show. I'm sure Trump has said things about these shows before and there was never any kind of action. Now, because you didn't really infuriate a lot of American citizens, now they calling the FCC like, yo, man, what's up with this dude? Get him off the air. It was overwhelming and they had no choice. And then on top of that, here's something else. Late night shows are pretty much dead anyway. They're pretty much dead anyway. Anybody really watching them? So when you're being inundated with calls about this guy and he's not making no money for real, it just becomes too unbearable. It's just like with sports. You got some guys that are knuckleheads in the locker room playing baseball, basketball, football, whatever it is. Knuckleheads in the locker room, but they go out there and perform at a high level. Sometimes the knuckleheads be in the locker room. Michael Vick with the whole dog situation. Michael Vick went to prison. See, you know what? This right here kind of kills the whole Colin Kaepernick argument. Michael Vick went to prison for 2 years for dog fighting. When he came back and before he went in, he was hated by dog lovers. They would protest his games. It didn't matter because he was so good on the field. His play overshadowed the dogfighting situation. He got out of prison and still played 7 more years in the league. Now, Colin Kaepernick, on the other hand, says that he's being blackballed because of the whole fist thing. Who do you think is hated more, Colin Kaepernick or Michael Vick? Like, let's just be all the way real. Colin Kaepernick, in my opinion, was more of a nuisance and an annoyance. People didn't like the fact that he was using the whole I got blackballed thing to make an excuse for his poor performance on the field. He was annoying. Michael Vick, though, went to prison. He got locked up for dogfighting. I think one was more hated than the other. Colin Kaepernick was not able to play again because he sucks. He had a nice little spark at the beginning, but he sucks. He was more focused on trying to be an activist than a football player. It's simple. If he was good as a football player, it wouldn't matter what he did with the whole kneeling, and that wouldn't make a difference. Because there were plenty of guys that did the same thing that Colin Kaepernick did, who had the same views as him and spoke to the media about it, but they were not, quote unquote, blackballed from the league because they were better than their off the field distractions. Does it make any sense? So yeah, nah, bro, it's not about the FCC and government control. It's about regular people calling and saying, you know what, I don't like what he said. And before I wrap it on up, put the bow on top, let's just show what Jimmy said right quick. All right, and I hope I won't get a claim on this because I'm streaming, but we'll see. And that's something else. They do copyright claims. It's like, bro, come on. It's 2025. Y'all got to stop that. We all do reaction videos. We all do streaming. There's no point of you doing a copyright claim at all. Listen, if I do some content and somebody puts it in the stream or they react to it, I will never do no copyright claim at all. Go ahead and take that. It's fine.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
So now somebody getting assassinated is a joke on TV. And it's not very funny. And the thing about it is, not everyone is going to be in tears and grieving and giving all these sad, happy comments after their friend dies or gets shot, killed. That's not always how it goes. Everybody don't do that. But I guess, late night talk show, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
All right, there we go. So that was the comments right there. People saw that. Like, people are watching you, bro. It's not just, some MAGAs. Nah, your people are watching you, bro, and they didn't like it. They didn't like what you were talking about, and then they called the FCC, and the FCC responded. Not even FCC. They called their local affiliate stations, okay? You're showing this somewhere in like Sioux Falls, what's that? South Dakota, North Dakota. You're shown on the ABC station in Sioux Falls, and then people there are like, "Yo, what is he doing?" They call on their station and complaining, and it was so overwhelming that it caused them to pull you off. That's what happened. Anyway, so I'm glad Kimmel is not on the airwaves anymore. I'm glad that he used his freedom of speech. We used ours, and ours was triumphant. So now what we got? We got Colbert. He about to be out of the way. And did y'all see that Colbert won an Emmy Award or something? Hold on. Let me see. Colbert Award. He won an award here. Let me see. Yeah, he won an Emmy Award. It's like, for what? Because you're about to get fired and you did a good job attacking the MAGAs. Look at Stephen Colbert brings his Emmy to the Late Show and earns massive ovation. Shouts out Jimmy Kimmel for telling Emmy voters to vote for Colbert instead. Okay, so you got an Emmy Award, and I stopped watching the award shows. I stopped watching TV probably 20 years ago. But award shows are the most pretentious waste of time you ever been to, because it's all about rewarding you for your actions that benefit their narrative. It's not about rewarding you for excellence in what you actually do. Because I saw some of his show. My man had a hand puppet. How you have a hand puppet on air as part of your bit and you get an Emmy for that? I mean, they're giving out Emmys like they're nothing. But again, they'll give you this award for pushing their narrative, not for actually being good at what you do. And if he was so good, then the show wouldn't be getting canceled. It wouldn't be getting canceled. Late night shows in general are dying. Colbert, Kimmel, and Fallon. I used to like Fallon. I've not watched any late night shows recently, but Fallon used to be good. But he'll be next. Seth Meyers, is he still on there? I don't even see Seth Meyers clips. Hey, listen. It's bad and about to be over with, but you don't even see clips from these guys on social media. That's real bad. Because ain't nobody watching. And when they do watch, it sucks, and you got a hand puppet. That ain't very entertaining television. Anyway, Shout out to you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. But no calls tonight. It's already 11:30, and I'm about to be asleep right now. I'm sleeping as we speak. I've had 3 tacos, and that's it. I'm about to get something to eat. Actually, I'm gonna try to find somewhere that's open. Be like, yo, man, can I please get a little morsel of something? I don't have any food to cook. The stores are closed, so I'm about to get something to eat. Just so I have some calories and not be a drained battery. But I got some super chats I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read these right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Okay. I sound whiny, Brian Payne. Is it me that sounds whiny? Hey, Brian, call me Saturday and let's see how your voice sounds. I know you're not gonna call though. So anytime anybody says anything like that, it never actually hit me up. They never call me. They never confront me. Anyway, and if it was about Jimmy, I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you to Lothair, who says, RIP, Charlie, he didn't deserve it. You may disagree with him, but he had right to his opinion. There you go. Thank you to Charmaine, who says, ABL, you have the absolute best shows ever from Las Vegas. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Thank you to Papa Naya Shelley, who says, not Herbert the pervert, son. Hey, that's exactly who that was. with stuff on his phone. Thank you to Sapphire P, who says, ABL, I'm glad you're back safely. The Democrats have done so much evil to Trump, his family, his home, and us conservatives. Karma is here now. Family Feud is on. And Jimmy Kimmel TV slot now. That's hilarious. That is so funny. And you know what? I love it. Family Feud is crazy. Thank you to Papa Nine Shelley again, who says, Joe ABL, the absolute worst dude is old boy looking like Daryl from Coming to America. Soul glow looking self. I'm convinced CNN hates black men. Hey, for real. CNN, they do hate black men. They hate heterosexual black men. If you gay like Don Lemon, it's fine. Shout out to Lothair again, who says, I debated Charlie in Lexington about abortion, RIP. Well, I'm glad you were able to speak to him. I'm glad you were able to go there and express yourself. So that's always a good thing. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, ABL opened my eyes in 2020 and led me to voices like Charlie Kirk. Two titans in spreading the word. RIP Charlie, and respect to ABL for carrying it on. You are appreciated. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. It's good to be mentioned in the same breath as Charlie Kirk, because Charlie was a man amongst men, a man amongst boys, really. He was, I can't even really put it into words. I'm not even really saying it right. Charlie was something else, man. I mean, really. From the first day I met him, I already knew. I meet a lot of people all the time. But Charlie was a special person, and I knew it from the moment I saw him. Thank you to Seafoam, who says, one side just wants to live peaceful lives and have our freedoms. Also, hi, I just got paid today. Hey, man, shout out to you. Thank you to Ocean 91, who says, we still don't know who was running the country. The staff, not Old Man River. Thank you to Andy Man is SKI or Ski. Andy Man is Ski, who says, Jesus is the Lord. Thank you, ABL. Thank you to Caitlin, who said, thank you, ABL. My hubby and I love your show. Check out 2 Timothy. God bless you. God bless you as well. Thank you to Tony Hay Munkits, who says, you've been around since the beginning. I've been watching you for at least 10 years now. You've always told me the truth, and I appreciate you so much. And I love you, man. Thank you. Wow. That means a lot to me, man. That's very touching. Thank you for that. I really, really do appreciate that. And I ain't going nowhere. Listen, you know, they killed Charlie. They shot Trump. They shot Steve Scalise. I got swatted many years ago. Luckily, I didn't get shot, but I had a gun in my face too. So listen, we understand there's dangers doing what we do, but we got to do it. I feel like I was called to do it. And I appreciate you guys giving me that positive feedback. I'm not just speaking into the ether. I'm not just, funny. That's cool, but I want to be able to educate. I want to be able to inform as well. So I'm glad you guys are able to appreciate that, and you recognize me for that. It makes it all worth it. It really does. Money or no money, it don't matter. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. You guys are the best. All right. I got all the super chats. And again, I will be back live on Saturday And we'll take calls like regular, but today I just got in from out of town, you know, and now I got to go to bed. All right. I flew in from Dallas this afternoon, and I drove from Atlanta. So the flight was like about 2.5, and the drive another 2 hours. And I got here about 8:15 p.m. So I got in, washed my face right quick, brushed my teeth, just, you know, tighten up for the camera, put my show together. Boom, I'm live. Now I got to get something to eat before I have zero battery. And thank you to Caitlin, who says, would you ever collaborate with Black Conservative Perspective? Anytime. Shout out to BCP. Good dude. All righty. But thank you all for your super chat. Thank you all for being here. I'll be back live again on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or go to favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live, pop right on up. All right. Did I get everybody? I did get everybody in the super chats. You guys have been great. I'll see you guys Saturday live. And also Tuesday on the Instagrams. I was not able to go live this Tuesday because traveling again. But I got my system kind of a little bit better set up for my travels. So hopefully I'll be able to do more streaming on the road. The only thing about streaming on the road is that the internet be messed up. The internet be so messed up. I did my Kimmel video and I was trying to upload it. Even at 720p, it took like an hour to upload. And it kept glitching. So I had to keep doing it over and over. So the internet be the problem. But here, I got this buttery smooth internet. I got 1,000 up, 1,000 down, the fastest in the whole country. So it's just really easy and convenient right here to do my show. But anyway, I'll be back live Saturday and Tuesday on the Instagrams. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.